Shalom, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakakurash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of GMS who rule well, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings to you elect out there, starting with 144,000. So this is a Subway ad that I came across on the internet, on Reddit, and it really gave me a touch of nostalgia, because I remember seeing this ad on the subway transit system in Toronto years ago. So what I did was I saved this image, and what you can do is put it into chat and ask where this image is from, and it can scour the internet for the origin of where and when, because pretty much well, I'm gonna get to it. Let's get to the next slide. So I said, how old is this ad? I remember seeing this in the TTC in Toronto 10 years ago or so. Chat says, you remember correctly. That HSBC, which is a bank, ad, your DNA will be your data, ran around 2011, 2013 as part of HSBC's The Future is Full of Opportunity campaign. And that's exactly when I remember seeing it, was 2011, 2012. And, me and, of course, a few of the other brothers who are still around, we remember this, and in our minds, this is what, not even in our minds, we told each other this is prophecy. They're showing you what's to come. And we were actually prophesying the same thing on the highways during this time period, and even a little before, since 2009, right? As you see here, it says the future is full of opportunity. And you see the QR code with a human fingerprint, right? A human fingerprint. It says it appeared in airports, subways, including Toronto's TTC, and major transit hubs worldwide. The ad was meant to symbolize the merging of personal identity with digital finance, not literal DNA tracking, though it hit harder in hindsight, given how things have evolved. See? And this is predictive programming. They were showing you. People didn't understand what the fuck this was talking about. Your DNA will be your data. And we're living in this time right now. In the time of the MOTB. Okay? CBDC. Central bank digital currency. Okay, digital identity. We're here. We're not at the door. We're in the door. Okay, the door has already opened. We're in it. Right? So then I asked another question, and it says it means that pretty much about the chip. It means that in the future your biological identity, DNA, fingerprints, iris scans, even health markers would serve as your digital ID and key to access systems. In other words, the body becomes the password. Instead of using cards, numbers, or pins, institutions envisioned verifying identity through genetic or biometric data. HSBC used the phrase symbolically to show how personal information and technology would merge in finance and security, but on a deeper level, it hints at a coming age where biological surveillance and data ownership blur, where your private code, your DNA, could be used to authenticate, track, or market to you. It was meant as a message of innovation, but it also foreshadows a future of total data integration, convenience tied to control. This demon chat just pretty much broke down starting with the apostles have been saying, okay, with the MOTB since the damn 90s, early 2000s, all the way on down to the Great Awakening of 2007-8, where you had all kinds of camps show up, okay, hit the highways and byways, right? Everything that the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua has been saying, Okay. And as you see, it clearly stated there's an age where biological surveillance and data ownership blur, right? And again, we're in that time where they will know things about your health, right? Just like in certain movies, like in the movie The Island, he woke up and he took a piss, and the toilet said, "Oh, we detected high sodium levels and this and that," and he had a tracker on his arm. Or even Hunger Games. That's another one we were talking about last week. Hunger Games, the first one, right? They were going to a certain area, and they had districts, right? They had districts, and they were going to an area, and they would scan their right hand. They would have drones, surveillance state, pretty much foreshadowing the future. So then I asked, does this include an implantable microchip ultimately? That slogan didn't explicitly refer to implants, but the concept leads in that direction because, again, here it says, I've read the last part here, it says, though it hit harder in hindsight given how things have evolved. Things evolved, right? They show you certain things not to scare you, even though this is, if people really understood this, they would be terrified. Oh, but this looks cool. Oh, what's that on that, finger? Oh, this looks, yeah, this is the future, yeah. A Gawaiam, the logic is simple. If your body becomes the data, systems will eventually need a hardware interface to read or store that data securely. Implantable microchips, biometric sensors, and digital ID implants are natural extensions of that vision, tighter integration between flesh and network. Some companies and governments have already tested subdermal chips for ID, payments, and medical records. So yes, while HSBC's ad was metaphorical, it foreshadowed the same trajectory from external IDs to internalized trackable. I can't scroll down, I believe IDs, right? So again, this is the world we are in. And since it mentions something about biological surveillance and data ownership, this is a term I heard Apostle Tahar say years ago, back in 2007-8, biometrics, right? When it mentioned also, this mentioned biometrics somewhere here, either this page or the last one, biometrics, and you even have a term today called biohacking, and bio, right? Which I asked Chad again. Let's go there, right? What is biohacking? Biohacking is the practice of intentionally modifying your biology to improve performance, health, or longevity using science, technology, and self-experimentation. 3 main types: nutritional and lifestyle or hacking, diet changes, fasting, sleep optimization, etc. Technological hacking, wearables, implants, neurofeedback devices, continuous glucose monitors. And again, this started with simple things, right? Certain watches you would wear, they would take your heartbeat, your heart rate when you're running, show you how much calories you're burning. I remember there was this machine, not a machine, but a device I had. You would wear it. It's a wristband on your right hand. They would recommend, because see, that's why the scriptures say on the right hand. It makes sense because that's your most bioelectric, thermal hand, pretty much dealing with bioelectricity. The most bioelectricity is conducted on the right side, but the left side can work as well. But pretty much this device, it was called Morpheus, and what it would do is pretty much read your nervous system that day, because I was training so much. So you would wear it when you're training and working out, okay, and it would take your heart rate, and it would show you what zones you're in, right? If you're pushing it to the limit, you would be in the red zone, and you can't be in the red zone for too long, or else you're going to burn out. Yeah, right. You have like things like HIIT, high intensity interval training, or you do boxing, you do conditioning training, you take your heart rate to a high pace. Or you can run and you keep it at a steady pace, or you walk, you keep it at a steadier pace, and it would show you how much calories you're burning, what if you're in fat burning zone, if you're in high intensity zone, low intensity, medium intensity. And then also when you wake up, it would take your heart rate, and it would pretty much gather data and say, hey, you worked out pretty much 2-3 days very hard. Today's the 4th day. You can't do it too hard. You have to have an active rest day, because your nervous system shows that you're very low. Your adrenals are low, this and that. you can't work out that much, right? Now they have crazier ones, but this was like in 2017. So that's an example of cool biohacking kind of, right, introduction. Apple Watches, smart watches, all these different things, as I said. But that's just, again, a gateway to, oh, now it's implantable. It's not just wearable, right? As it says here, it said wearables, then it said implants, neurofeedback devices, continuous glucose monitors, genetic or biohacking or biochemical hacking, nootropics, hormone, blah, blah, blah. Right? So I said, would microchips fit this? Yes, implantable microchips are a form of technological biohacking. Right? Access or common uses: access control, unlock doors, start cars, storing data, medical info, contact data, tracking biometrics or glucose levels. Advanced forms aim to integrate sensors that monitor or modulate nervous system signals. It's invasive, so it crosses into grinder biohacking, the subculture that physically augments the body with tech, which goes into what? Transhumanism, which is another doctrine. That's a technocratic doctrine. Really, it's an occult doctrine. These technocrats are occultists, right? That's a cool term now, right? Oh, technocrats, right? The technocrats. These are occultists, warlocks, witches, right? They practice sorcery. They just mix it with machine, AI, binary code, zeros and ones, right? And that's all it is. Everything you see on the internet it comes down to zeros and ones. Everything, right? That's how this devil operates. So he mixed that technology, as Elon Musk said. He said years ago on RT, he said, with AI, we're opening a portal for demons, pretty much, and you have all kinds of technocrats saying, look, we don't really know where we're going to go with this AI thing. We don't know, because it's changing super fast every day, right? So pretty much they opened the gateway. So then that says, I asked, bio means to do with the human body. Correct. Bio comes from the Greek bios, meaning life. In this context, it refers to living systems, usually the human body and mind. So biohacking means hacking or modifying life processes, your biology, physiology, or biochemistry to achieve desired outcomes. So changing what the Most High set up, pretty much on a higher level, right? Just how they change kinds, right? They change fruits. They create hybrids. They mingle seeds, which is against the laws of the Most High, right? You can't mingle seeds. You can't grow certain crops too closely with each other. This man splices genes, right? Mixes different genes with foods and fruits and all kinds of things, right? So again, he's trying to be like the Most High. Now he's changing literally you, the human body, the human experience, right? Transhumanism, getting a left-hand spiritual power, right? So again, I'll never forget it, man. Apostle Tahar said biometrics, right? Look out for those buzzwords, bio. And he said bio is to do with the human body, and everything adds up, man, to that drum roll, right? Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And not, you bugged out IUIC. I remember years ago you slandered, you stay slandering, but I remember specifically you're like, the hour of temptation. And I'm not even gonna say what example they said, but you guys are fucking bugged out, man. It was that guy Kanai, and I forget who else, but they were making fun of this, but what is their interpretation? What is their breakdown? Right? What is this hour of temptation? What is this? First of all, this temptation is an experiment. When we look up words, which we're taught by our apostles, which you other guys are starting to do now, and then act like you were always doing it.
Strong's G 3986, Pyrasmas.
Right, Pyrasmas, which means an experiment, an attempt, trial, proving. Okay, the trial of a man's fidelity, or fidelity, which is faith, which is where you get infidel, which is without faith. Integrity, virtue, constancy, and enticement to sin. Okay? Whether arising from the desires or from the outward circumstances. What are the outward circumstances? You're not going to be able to eat. Okay, you're not going to be able to be in the world of transactions. So meaning that you can't buy or sell, meaning that you're not going to be able to be in society. Okay, you're not going to be able to be in the big city, in a small town, okay, where transactions occur via what? It's not going to be cash. Visas, all these different things. If you're gonna have visas, it's all gonna be inside you, meaning you're gonna need that thing to even use some form of visa, if that's even gonna be there, which it's not, because you're gonna have a digital currency. Okay, even if they have some side card, it's not gonna be a card. It's gonna be literally scan your right hand, sir, beep, or scan your forehead. You are the product. You're gonna be walking around like a fucking like a slave, man. A digital slave, you know, and we're in this time right now, an internal temptation to sin. So this thing is coming down to this trial, man. See, it says of the condition of things. What is the condition of things going to be? Desperate, right? It's going to be perilous. Perilous time shall come. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. So that means you're not going to be able to sell to make any money, to buy any food, to buy water, okay, to pay your rent, to drive a car, which they're going to outlaw that anyway. They don't want private ownership of vehicles. You know, where you see where they're coming with this totalitarianism. Okay. And then let's get one of the most favorite scriptures, Revelation 13, and go to the point. 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Right? Transactions. Right? What do you think your everyday life is? It's transactions. You know, you get up, even when you drive your car, that's a business. It's traffic. Transactions. You got to pay for gas. You're on the clock for your insurance. Maybe you just paid your insurance. Right now it's what is it, the third week of October. You know, rent's coming up, right? You got your job. It's all traffic, transactions. You get pulled over by a cop, he gives you a ticket, transactions. So in that time, you're not going to be able to do any of that. Okay, buy and sell. You go to the coffee shop, get your coffee, transactions. You buy your lunch, you buy your breakfast, you buy your groceries, right? You pay your bill, right? Buy and sell, transactions. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? And here is wisdom, see? And wisdom is not knowledge, right? Just because you have knowledge doesn't mean you have wisdom. The scriptures, the Apocrypha tells you the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. So you can attain a bunch of knowledge, but that doesn't mean you have the prudence and the judgment to understand what's going on. So here is the wisdom. Let him that hath understanding, okay, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that goes into what? When you look it up in the Greek, real quick, 666, chi si stigma, or chi si stigma, which stigma, let me see if I can even look it up. Stigma, right? Where you get that word stigmata, to stick, and then it says, i.e. to prick, right? And if you ever seen a video of a person getting that thing, the MOTB, it's a quick prick. They get a needle, that's it. You know, it doesn't take 5 minutes. It doesn't even take a minute. It's just a quick, you know, they put some alcohol, rub it on, you know, put it next to you and implant right there. Right? It's a quick prick. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. Okay, but this one's going to be in the body, not on it. Right? A mark incised. What does incise mean? What does the word incision mean? Let's look it up real quick. With a cut. Mark or decorate an object or surface with a cut, which a cut in our law is against the law. The laws of the Most High. A cut, a mark or decoration into a surface, cut, skin, or flesh with a surgical instrument. Okay? Incision, that's what, right? The word incision. Right? A mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership, figuratively, scar of service. That's it. Who is your service to? Satan. You're damn ultimate Satanist. Congratulations. Alright, so anyway, Shalom. Kahalalem la Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.